Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Data Dispatch. I hope you guys are having a great day. Stock market flourished today, and PLTR is now up over $25 in the after hours. We have some critical price targets by some really reputable analysts that have been raising the bar in what they think PLTR will achieve in terms of price action in the near future. Also, in addition, there's some interesting free cash flow models that are valuing PLTR at a much higher price. We have a lot of information to go through. Also, with the Fed today saying that they will be holding rates currently, but still looking at 3 interest rate cuts this year. We saw the S&P close at a record high. We're going to be going through all this information. So if you're a new or returning viewer, hit that like button, subscribe for daily videos. And of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm collecting all the data and dispatching it to you. Now, PLTR, what we see on the day, up over 3.2%. You see here in the after hours where we're actually trading right now is here at this green line. We talked about if PLTR was going to experience a little bit of a pullback, testing at these reversal points that we have been seeing on the micro level of support at this like 2340 area. You can see here a critical reversal was triggered right here, which further exemplifies how this support level is being established. And this will be great for the future, especially if we do see any type of pullback in the market. Talking about, we are seeing, like I said, all-time highs right now. We see S&P 500 closes over 5,200, about another percent increase today. NASDAQ and Dow Jones, they all follow along. And looking at NVIDIA, one of the main drivers that we've seen, a lot of information going out with them with the recent press conference, but we see them closing at over $900 right now at $912. There could be a rush in tomorrow's market. What we're seeing in terms of options for PLTR is that same type of scenario that's being predicted by institutional and retail investors. Reason being is because just for end of the day options expirations for tomorrow, you're seeing 29,000 at the call volume at the $25 strike price. This is heavily outweighing the puts right now. So inflow for options is looking very healthy in terms of the short-term bullish scenario. Now, one thing that I do want to talk about right here with PLTR, looking at here, Yahoo Finance puts out this interesting article about how Palantir Technologies looks deeply undervalued. And basically what they're talking about here is that with the amount of free cash flow that they have coming in and the total revenue that is continuing to come in, that a lot of things are really starting to exponentiate the actual expectations for what Palantir could achieve over the next few years. And one of the biggest things that we see across the articles all the time is, of course, this 70% year-over-year increase in the U.S. commercial revenue. And I think this really marked a historical point of Palantir's history and really a historical earnings report talking about last quarter and how AIP, artificial intelligence platform, is really making an impact on gaining customers and also really tapping into the private industry. Now, one thing, what we're seeing with PLTR is these really strong profits in free cash flows. And as you can see here, adjusted free cash flow in terms of margin in just the fourth quarter here, 50%. So crazy to see that we're seeing this large increase. And with the free cash flow forecast, we'll get here to what these price targets and utilizing it, what they are setting in terms of price targets right here is possibly at a point and at a low point of about $30.71 per share. However, on the upper end, the stock could be 92% increased at $45.50 per share. Now, the free cash flow, that takes a lot of variables. These are all predictions. I'm not saying that, this is definitely going to that. But however, utilizing these metrics and seeing the money that's coming into PLTR, this is what the actual analyst is showing in the analytics in terms of free cash flow projections and calculations is showing in terms of price targets. In addition, we also have analysts that are continuing to increase their price targets on PLTR, saying basically this is an AI gold rush winner, so aim for $35, it's saying right here with this actual stock. Now, where is this coming from is we see, of course, remember recently they achieved the Titan contract. A lot of people that are heavily, looking at PLTR research, watching us Data Dispatch on a daily basis, we already know the Titan, they secure this. Great to see here increasing and still maintaining their credibility with the governmental contracts. Talking about why we're seeing Webush Securities right here, Dan Ives, who's very a reputable analyst and who's always been pretty bullish on PLTR, recently published a $35 price target for the actual stock. And one of the main catalysts that he sees as a main contributor to its success is the great commercialization potential for their actual AIP. And I think over the last 5 quarters with GAAP profitability now, and now the question for S&P 500 inclusion, just when's it going to happen? It's probably going to happen. I mean, they've really outpaced a lot of other stocks and even are outpacing a lot of the stocks within the S&P 500. Now, the question is, when's that going to happen? We have that on the table. And with AIP really getting into the private sector here, you can see there is a lot of different sparks that are underneath this fire right now. And even with the market momentum in the AI boom in the industry in general, the market share that's anticipated to come into these AI stocks, and with PLTR being a leading competitor within that industry, we are really seeing a lot of bullishness and momentum that is behind that. And that's really the assessment and where we're seeing Webush come up here with this $35 price target. And a lot of people right now, one of the biggest criticisms that we're seeing is, hey, PLTR is highly valued. It is way over its value and it needs to pull back. It's trading at a very high premium. This is true. We talk about this all the time, that PLTR is at a very high valuation, but it's always been at a very high valuation. And so have many other of the AI stocks compared to the same SaaS industry that Palantir falls within. A lot of the stocks do trade at very high valuations. Like I always say, I'm going to say it again, in my opinion, valuation is really just a future gauge or barometer of what people are expecting future earnings reports to be. Right now, everybody is pretty bullish on PLTR. We don't see a lot of bears out there. And with that being said, and with the market momentum, I can see why people are paying a premium price right now for it. And with NVIDIA really leading this whole boom across the market. So lots of bullish articles coming up here talking about how a long-term growth narrative is just beginning to take shape for PLTR, saying, hey, we don't play golf, we play software. Those are words from Alex Karp saying that their whole focus is on developing this AI software, utilizing all the different softwares that they have, and of course, utilizing AIP as a launching pad to really evolve its use case and bring true AI utility to a lot of these companies. Because one thing that I will say that we've seen across is a lot of companies are now just throwing the word AI into their businesses to try to get attractiveness, to try to get investors, to try to bring more hype across on their stock or on their business. But what's really the real utility that they're utilizing to help improve efficiency and productivity within their business by utilizing AI? Palantir is showing this actually being proof in the pudding, being played out in front of our eyes. And like I said, in terms of what we actually have, in terms of the Fed announcement, is that they had announced that it's going to continue to hold rates. They're going to keep these interest rates unchanged and stick with its projection of 3 rate cuts this year. The market loved this. So we could see a continuation of this that continues, and it'll be interesting to see what's going to be happening with inflation, because right now the Fed says that they're going to be very adamant on keeping inflation at basically not letting it get too strong, keeping the brakes and a little bit of pressure, but not releasing the brakes too quick. And that means that, yes, they say right now that these 3 interest rate cuts, they're still looking at that, but that could change depending on how inflation and how the CPI report is going to come out over the next few months. So just keep that volatility in the back of your head, because right now we are at all-time highs, which means pullbacks could happen at any point. However, people celebrating these, rallies that keep continuing in the momentum, that's really great for the bulls out there. So lots of things to digest. Let me know. What do you think down in the discussion? Do you think PLTR at a $35 price target? Do you think that's unreasonable right now? Or do you think that could get there, breaking $30 here in the near future if the momentum's behind it? I want to know what you guys are thinking. Peace out. Take care. I'll catch you guys later.